by 6-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Jimmie Johnson, driver of the number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Jimmie, what's it like to be back here at the World Center of Racing as we get ready for the 56th running of the Daytona 500?
Definitely excited to be back. Wish I was on the racetrack like I'm sure everybody else does, burning some gasoline and learning about our race cars. But Mother Nature has a different plan for us today, I guess. But it's great to be back. I mean, there's no other sensation, when you come into a racetrack like there is here. So driving through the tunnel and popping out in turn 4 and looking around and realizing you're here is always a great way to start the season.
Right. We will open it up for questions. We'll start up here with Reed. And again, just a reminder, please state your name and affiliation.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wear Service. Whether it was Hank Aaron chasing Babe Ruth's home run record, this year I think is probably going to be different from you for you going for title number 7. Do you anticipate sort of a different feel to this year as that goes on?
I haven't put much thought into it, but if the opportunity is there in front of us and we get deep in the chase and have a shot at it, that reality it's going to be hard to keep that out of my mind, and I'm sure the questions that would come with it as well wouldn't let me let it slide by. But amazing opportunity to have ahead of myself. To have 6 championships is something I'm extremely proud of, and if I was able to tie it, I don't know what it would mean or what that experience would exactly feel like, but to be up there with those 2 legends would be top of the list. Pretty cool.
Go next here to Ben.
Jimmy, Ben White with the Lexington Dispatch right here. Just if you could give me, I'm doing a piece on turning points in drivers' careers. In other words, when you were maybe felt like you were discovered or something that happened in your career that got you noticed. What would you say that could be possibly for you?
Gosh, there's so many of them. I mean, the first one would be when I was 15. There's a man named Jeff Bennett who owned a pet food company that had 5 little buggies that raced in the Mickey Thompson Stadium Series. One of his drivers left to be the backup driver for Cal Wells' Toyota racing team that they had in the Truck Series. And when he left mid-season, it left an opening for somebody to come in, and through my dad's persistence and some sponsorship help, was able to get that seat and got going. The next opportunity was one key race in Los Angeles at the Los Angeles Coliseum, where I had a stellar night, and the head of the GM race shop at the time, Herb Fisher, was there watching. And he sat in the grandstands, watched every event all night long, spotted me through qualifying, my heat race victory, and then the main. And that interaction later led to my chance to be a test driver for Chevrolet as they developed a new stadium truck, and led to my job there and being part of Chevrolet family at that point. And then when things really got serious, I would say, and led towards the asphalt path, was when I met the Herzogs. And I was doing pit road reporting for Chevrolet. They helped me with the opportunity, but I was doing pit road reporting in an off-road series in the Midwest and met the Herzogs there. And that really got me going into the asphalt world, although it was maybe 5 years later before I ever was on the asphalt in ASA, but that really led to that opportunity. And until then, I felt like IndyCar was the path for a off-road racer and a West Coast racer. And stock cars, I liked them. I just wasn't around them, and it didn't seem like where my opportunities would lead me. So getting associated with the Herzogs and them being a team that Chevrolet wanted to groom, and then me being a driver that they wanted to groom, it worked out and got us to ASA and then nationwide. Yep.
We'll go to Bob, and then to Dustin, and then over to Alan.
Bob Hockrus, Sporting News. Do you have any idea how much testing you'll do between now and the start of the season as far as the non-cup or non-plate package? And do you have any idea what you feel like the new rules, how they will impact how you drive the car?
We have one test date set right now for a non-plate track, but I was in the shop yesterday and we're not exactly sure where the rules are just yet. So it's tough to complete the cars and go test and know what you're going to have, because we're still waiting for the rule book to be finalized for the intermediate package. But as soon as that stuff is nailed down, we'll go to the track at least once, and I would assume probably twice before we unload in Phoenix. It would be a realistic goal at this point with needing to build equipment and get everything up to spec and ready to race.
Dustin Long, Motor Racing Network. Jimmy, Brian Francis talked about twice since the offseason about incentivizing winning and risk-taking and looking at essentially kind of hinting at changes. What are things that could be done? I mean, obviously at the end of the day, if you win, you're going to win the championship. It's about the wins. Does it need to be more about make winning more valuable, helping later in the pack? Are there certain things to do? And does it bother you when people think that you guys need more incentive to go for the front?
Yeah, I think from being in the car, it doesn't change the driver's mindsets much. I mean, it might take someone from, roughing someone up to dumping them. I mean, it might bring that in, and maybe that's the excitement that some have in mind that's the fix or would be more entertaining. But I think it's just more perception in some respects, in looking at it and putting more weight on winning, because it's not going to change what I do in there. I mean, I'm trying to get every point I can and win every race I can. So I don't see a big impact there, but if it changes perception and it pulls it in the right direction, awesome. If it gives us great storylines to talk about and write about, awesome. There's no downside in that. But I think the big picture looking forward is format changes, and qualifying is going to be far different than anything we've ever seen. And I think that's where the magic lies, is in format changes. I thought I knew it, and then yesterday Chad brought me up to speed on something different. So, and the last format I heard was at the town hall meeting we had, and then I disconnected and was brought up to speed yesterday, and it's way different, and certainly build a lot of excitement. It'd be tough to figure out, and the great thing is Chad and I were discussing, there's opportunities within that to get it right and get a bunch of polls.
Go next to Alan, and then over to Reed, and then we'll finish up here with Ben.
Alan Cavano, NASCAR.com. Jimmy, when you're a champion, especially defending champion, how do you improve? What do you guys look at in the offseason? What do you look at in yourself to be better than you already are, six-time champion?
Well, things always change, with rules, tires, formats. We always look at ourselves as our individual members of the team and what we can do better at. And last year, let a lot of races slip away during the regular season that I shouldn't have. So that's an area that I got to focus on for whatever reason. If it's procedures during a restart or, just not closing at the end, I let some slip away that I need to correct. But we'll all look at our individual areas, and then this year there's a lot of change to at least until the green flag drops come race time, and that'll keep us all real busy for at least until the halfway point of the season, trying to grasp what the car wants with the new rules package and then the format for qualifying.
Go over here to Reed, and then we'll finish up over here with Ben.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wear Service. I wanted to follow up on something you said earlier. Conventional wisdom is that you're one of the best guys in the garage in terms of giving feedback, interpreting what the car is doing. How much did your days as a Chevy test driver sort of ingrain that mindset and help you develop that ability?
Those days really did, and I feel like being the B driver through my Chevrolet days and watching Rick Johnson in the stadium truck and Larry Ragland in the desert truck, coming through the nationwide ranks, and actually I go through ASA and watching Gary Santamont, who worked with me there. Nationwide, I had a variety of friends in the garage area that helped me. I could spot that early that communication was key. I felt like my off-road days, one helped me with the sensitivity of it, because it was really tough when you're on a dirt surface and you're airborne half the time. What adjustment really helped? And you had to really focus in on what made the truck faster. But at the same time, it helped me compromise. And I feel like compromising is a big part of what we do on the Cup Series in a Cup car. You have long runs. There's a big fuel burn on the car. Balance changes from the start of the run to the end of a run. The tracks, their difference from a turn 1 and 2 side to a 3 and 4. And that compromise, I think, has helped me a lot from my dirt days to carry over. There are times when especially when it comes to qualifying trim, when I have to lay down a fast lap, and I think that affects my qualifying performance, I'll just compromise. Yeah, it feels good. I'm fine. We're good. Qualify 10th. And I should be a little more specific maybe and try to find and perfect things a bit more in qualifying trim to get that fast lap. But I say all that with the old format, and now it looks like we're on the same tire for however many laps you decide to run in a qualifying trim, so maybe the compromise will come back into play for me.
Finish it off here with Ben.
Okay. Jimmy, Ben White, Licensed Dispatch. Can you talk about Kyle Larson coming in this year to Ganassi and how he's going to do, in your opinion, and what kind of challenges is he going to face with the pressures of Sprint Cup now?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just the pressures, and if he can keep his blinders on, live within the walls of his team. He's very good at driving within his own means, and I think that's key. And just let time take its course. And the outside world's probably going to be less patient with him than his race team and sponsors will. And as long as he identifies with that and again stays inside the walls of his shop, he's shown he has the talent, and he'll mature and learn. And unfortunately, part of the learning process is making mistakes, and the spotlight's going to be very bright on him. And hopefully, he can shrug that stuff off and just keep growing.